On November 19th, 2020, Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa released their collaborative track, Prisoner. Prisoner is a disco rock track that entails the struggles of ending a manipulative relationship. This is more of a compact song, clocking in at 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And while I do for the most part love the song, I do have mixed feelings in regards to its individual components. Prisoners is a collaborative effort between Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa, two artists that have experienced a critically acclaimed 2020. Dua Lipa not only gave us an instant pop classic with future nostalgia, but she also refined her live performance, proving to us that she has the ability to adjust according to critique and showing us that there is some credibility when it comes to her longevity. On the subject of longevity, we have Miley Cyrus, who reminds me of Madonna with the way she's able to constantly reinvent herself. This iteration of Miley Cyrus has been my favorite. With the release of Midnight Sky, she stayed true to her love of rock influences while taking advantage of current mainstream trends and embodying the song in a way that makes Midnight Sky feel extremely personal. She showcased a level of growth that made you feel proud of her, and she embraced her wild side in such an unapologetic way that it feels less cringy and more badass. I bring up their recent accolades to shed some light on some of the expectations I had while listening to Prisoner. I will give the disclaimer that when it comes to music, especially pop music, our expectations can be the killer of our experiences. The reason I emphasize pop music is because it's heavily centered on hits. A lot of times we listen to new songs with the expectation of hearing the next chart topper. And when we do this, we take control from the artist and we strip the joy out of music. Take Stupid Love as an example. It's far from Lady Gaga's best song, but because it had been so long since we heard pop music from her, we wanted 2020's Bad Romance. When I simply allowed myself to fully enjoy Stupid Love, I found myself appreciating the song more, and I can truly say that Chromatica is one of my, if not my absolute favorite, Lady Gaga albums. In my opinion, Prisoner is an amazing and deeply infectious song, but there are some little details within it that, after many listens, I now view as missed opportunities. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, as there are only a handful of songs out there that could be argued as perfect. But for the next part of this video, I'd love to go over the pros and cons of Prisoner. Let's start off with the pros. The individual components of the song are flawless and intentional. I watched another review of Prisoners, in which it was stated that it sounds like a hybrid of Midnight Sky and future nostalgia, and I couldn't agree more. You can hear both artists as well as their influences being represented here. We get another reference to Olivia Newton-John's Physical that feels reminiscent of future nostalgia, and the rock components of the track remind me of Roxanne by The Police. The vocal contrast is another positive, as Dua's smooth vocals add a pop emphasis, while Miley's raspy delivery adds appeal to the song's rock influence. The chorus is hugely addictive, catchy, and while I'm usually critical of a song's over-reliance on the chorus, I think it works here. The emphasis on the chorus gives this crying on the dance floor vibe to the song. You would think we got our 2020 feel of crying on the dance floor with Chromatica, but for me it doesn't feel overdone yet, especially when you watch the music video. One thing I love about music videos is when they enhance the experience of the song. You don't need to watch the video to enjoy Prisoners, but after watching it, I can't help but envision Miley and Dua on a tour bus in a dive bar whenever I listen to the song. In the video, they look like two rock stars embracing the struggle of their relationships. They're finding a temporary sense of peace by getting wasted and screaming the chorus at one another. And for me, this strangely adds depth to the song. It's like crying on the dance floor, but on a new level. Lastly, I love that they go back and forth, and that they're both equally present for the entire song. I mentioned a lot in my videos how I love this component of modern day collaborations, and I'm glad that this style of collaboration has become more normalized. The first con we'll discuss is the song's half dedication to emotion. We get this big finish at the end of Prisoner that showcases a level of frustration. While they are singing the same question that they've asked at the end of every chorus, the way they deliver it at the end of the song sounds like they are demanding an answer. The only issue here is that this frustrated level of emotion almost came out of nowhere, and we only experienced it for about a second before the song ended. Now, we do hear a bit of this frustration in Miley's voice as she takes on verse 2, but the verse is so short that by the time you settle into this frustrated phase of the song, we're already back at the chorus, which is the part of the song that's less about emotion and more so about wit. I think the solution here would have been making that verse longer. I know this may have been a risky move as it could have added a cookie cutter effect to the song, but I would rather the song follow an established formula than risk coming off as undone. Next, let's discuss the unintentional ways Prisoner exists as a contrast to Midnight Sky. While Midnight Sky resonates as a fully realized experience, Prisoner is punchy and straight to the point. Midnight Sky holds your hand as it moderately takes you from one point of the song to another, while Prisoner forces you to keep up. I will admit that this is a picky point of critique, but I bring it up because it connects with the final con, which is a clear lack of intent. If there is one thing that has made Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa standout artists in 2020, it is their intent in relation to their projects. For example, Dua Lipa chose Don't Start Now as the lead single for Future Nostalgia, as it thematically connected with her previous hits, while sonically hinting at what was to come. The subject matter of Don't Start Now also closed a chapter of her life, as she began singing about finding new love on Future Nostalgia. Club Future Nostalgia is hands down the only remix album I can listen to from start to finish, and that is because of its intent. The DJ mix curated by the Blessed Madonna added purpose to the remixes, making Club Future Nostalgia a legitimate album. When it comes to intent, I have the highest expectations for Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa. So for me, it is a huge con when I can't decipher why Prisoners is so compact when compared to songs like Midnight Sky, Levitating, and Love Again. Now, there are shorter songs out there that I love, such as Savage, Look at Her Now, and Sour Candy. And I love these songs because they deliver a lot in a short amount of time without feeling rushed. Prisoner feels rushed, just a little bit. And my biggest issue here is that it doesn't have to be. Miley and Dua are both established artists. We will listen to their songs no matter if they're 2 minutes long or 10. They both do such a great job at stretching songs out while keeping audience retention, and it almost feels like they wrote themselves into a corner while working on Prisoners. Despite these cons, I still love the song. I find myself constantly listening to it, 10% of me still searching for some intent, while the other 90% of me is just enjoying the song. I'm proud of the legacy Dua Lipa is building. She's become the queen of 2020 collaborations, working with the likes of Madonna, Missy Elliott, Gwen Stefani, and now Miley Cyrus. She's keeping us on our toes, she's intelligently making the most of future nostalgia during a pandemic, and I can't wait to see what she does next. Miley Cyrus is unstoppable, and I'm sure Plastic Hearts will be one of her best records. She seems so artistically developed in everything she's doing, and I have not had more admiration for her than I do with this current era. Both artists are extremely phenomenal, they're really talented, and because they have such a good friendship, I'm sure we'll be getting more collaborations in the future.